Bewitched, a beloved television sitcom, holds a special place in the annals of TV history. Premiering on September 17, 1964, it captivated audiences for 8 seasons with its charming blend of fantasy and domestic comedy. The magical effects created by the editors were a major factor that thrilled fans of the show for years, but it seemed every good thing has to come to an end at some point. In the case of Bewitched, the final episode came with a bang, providing quite an interesting end for this spectacular show. Come with us as we explore the magical world of Bewitched and its eventual grand exit from the screens. The series, created by Saul Sachs, drew inspiration from 2 Columbia Pictures films, I Married a Witch, which was released in 1942, and the 1958 movie Bell, Book and Candle. Despite borrowing from the idea of these movies, Bewitched carved out its unique identity through enchanting storytelling and memorable characters. Following its success and popularity, Bewitched had a spectacular end due to a single infamous episode that changed the course of TV history. Saul Sachs, the creative mind behind Bewitched, had a rich background in writing for radio and television. His inspiration for the show stemmed from 2 movies: I Married a Witch, starring Veronica Lake and Frederick March, and Bell, Book and Candle, featuring Kim Novak and James Stewart. Both films revolved around Haround witches trying to navigate love and life among mortals, setting the stage for Bewitched's central premise. Sachs envisioned a show that combined the whimsical elements of these films with a comedic take on suburban life, resulting in the birth of his own show. Bewitched follows the life of Samantha Stevens, a beautiful witch played by Elizabeth Montgomery, who marries a mortal man, Darren Stevens, a character originally played by Dick York and later by Dick Sargent. Determined to live a normal, non-magical life, Samantha's efforts are continually thwarted by her magical family, particularly her meddling mother, Endora, played by Agnes Moorehead. The show's charm lay in its blend of magical mishaps and everyday domestic challenges, creating a unique comedic dynamic that resonated with audiences. Upon its debut, Bewitched was an instant hit. The show's clever writing, combined with the charisma of its lead actors, quickly endeared it to viewers. Critics praised its innovative concept and witty dialogue, and it became a ratings juggernaut, consistently ranking among the top 10 shows during its early seasons. The series' success was further solidified by its numerous awards, including several Primetime Emmy Awards. The show's popularity can be attributed to its ability to address contemporary social issues through the lens of fantasy. Themes such as gender roles, suburban life, and the clash between tradition and modernity were explored in a lighthearted yet thought-provoking manner. Bewitched also stood out for its progressive portrayal of a strong, independent female lead in Samantha, which resonated with the growing feminist movement of the 1960s. Elizabeth Montgomery's portrayal of Samantha Stevens was pivotal to the show's success. Her performance exuded warmth, charm, and a subtle strength that made Samantha an iconic character. Montgomery's ability to seamlessly blend comedy with moments of genuine emotion brought depth to Samantha, making her relatable to audiences. Her chemistry with her co-stars, particularly Dick York and later Dick Sargent, added to the show's appeal. Montgomery's talent and charisma were instrumental in making Bewitched a cultural phenomenon. Darren Stevens, Samantha's mortal husband, was initially portrayed by Dick York. York's comedic timing and earnest portrayal of a man trying to navigate life with a magical wife endeared him to viewers. His physical comedy and exasperated reactions to the magical chaos around him were highlights of the show. However, York's health issues led to his departure after the 5th season, and he was replaced by Dick Sargent. Sargent brought a different energy to the role, with a more straightforward and less frantic approach. While some fans were resistant to the change, Sargent's performance was solid, and he maintained the character's central role in the show's dynamics. Agnes Moorehead's portrayal of Endora, Samantha's meddling and flamboyant mother, was another standout performance. Endora's disdain for Darren and her constant attempts to interfere in Stevens's marriage provided much of the show's comedic tension. Moorhead's theatrical delivery and commanding presence made Endora a memorable and beloved character. Her interactions with both Samantha and Darren were a source of constant amusement, and her character added a layer of complexity to the show's exploration of familial relationships. For its success, the classic television sitcom successfully blended magic and humor, creating a unique and enchanting viewing experience. This mix not only sustained the show's viewership during its original run from 1964 to 1972, but also helped it remain relevant through the advent of streaming services. At the heart of Bewitched was its ingenious premise. A witch, Samantha Stevens, marries a mortal, Darren Stevens, and attempts to live a normal suburban life without using her magical powers. This setup provided endless opportunities for comedic situations, as Samantha's well-meaning but often chaotic magical interventions clashed with Darren's desire for a mundane life. The show's humor was deeply rooted in this central conflict. Each episode typically featured Samantha trying to solve everyday problems with her magic, leading to humorous misunderstandings and complications. Darren's reactions to these magical mishaps, ranging from exasperation to bewilderment, added another layer of comedy. The show's ability to blend ordinary domestic issues with fantastical elements created a delightful contrast that kept viewers entertained. While the magic provided the show's unique twist, the characters and their relationships grounded it in reality. Samantha's attempts to conform to mortal life, Darren's struggles to accept and live with her magical background, and the meddling of Samantha's witch family, particularly her mother Endora. However, not minding the successful run that the show had, they faced some challenges along the line that threatened the overall balance of the show. Character switches and the singular focus of the scripts played a major role in the crop of challenges that they faced over the years. Being a groundbreaking show in the 1960s, Bewitched saw significant success largely due to its charming blend of fantasy and domestic life. Central to this charm was the chemistry between Elizabeth Montgomery's Samantha Stevens and Dick York's Darren Stevens. However, the show's dynamic faced a substantial challenge with York's departure after the 5th season. This exit, coupled with other factors, contributed to the gradual decline of the show despite its continued rating success. Dick York's departure was primarily due to severe back problems that originated from an injury sustained during the filming of the 1959 movie They Came to Cordura. His condition worsened over the years, exacerbated by the physical demands of his role in Bewitched. Despite his professional commitment, York often struggled with intense pain, leading to frequent hospitalizations and absences from the set. His final exit in 1969 came after a particularly severe seizure on set, which underscored the unsustainable nature of his condition. York's portrayal of Darren was characterized by his impeccable comedic timing and the authentic, often exasperated reactions to the magical chaos around him. His chemistry with Elizabeth Montgomery was a cornerstone of the show, creating a believable and endearing depiction of a couple navigating extraordinary circumstances. York's Darren was not just a straight man to Samantha's magical antics, but also a loving husband whose frustrations and affections resonated with the audience. The introduction of Dick Sargent as the new Darren inevitably altered this dynamic. Sargent's interpretation of Darren was more laid back and less frenetic compared to York's, leading to a different kind of interaction with Samantha. While Sargent brought his own strengths to the role, the shift was noticeable. Fans who had grown accustomed to York's portrayal found it challenging to accept the new Darren, which disrupted the continuity of the show's central relationship. But they somehow managed to keep things together for the remaining seasons. By the time Dick Sargent joined the cast, Bewitched had already been on the air for 5 seasons. The show's initial novelty had begun to wear off, and the repetitive nature of its storylines started to show. Many episodes followed a similar formula. Samantha uses her magic to solve problems, often leading to comedic misunderstandings, with Darren reacting predictably. This formulaic approach, while initially endearing, began to feel stale as the series progressed. Since there appeared to be an attraction by viewers towards the magical content of the show, The whole story seemed to grow in that direction, at the expense of other elements that might have appealed to the fans also. The cultural landscape of the late 1960s and early 1970s was rapidly evolving. Audiences were becoming more sophisticated, and television was beginning to reflect the changing social and political climate. Shows that addressed contemporary issues and adopted more realistic or gritty tones were gaining popularity. While Bewitched was innovative in its early seasons, its fantastical premise started to feel out of step with the times. The show's light-hearted escapism, which had once been its strength, began to seem trivial compared to the more pressing issues being addressed by other programs. So, apart from York's departure, Bewitched faced other significant changes behind the scenes. Script quality began to vary, and the creative direction of the show seemed less focused. Key writers and producers who had contributed to the show's early success moved on to other projects, leading to inconsistencies in the narrative and character development. Additionally, Elizabeth Montgomery herself was growing weary of the role. Having been the face of the show for several years, she was eager to explore different opportunities and roles. This sense of fatigue was palpable and may have translated into her performance, subtly affecting the show's overall energy. The attachment of the audience to the original cast cannot be understated. Television viewers develop strong connections to characters and the actors who portray them, especially in a long-running series. Dick York's portrayal of Darren had become a beloved part of Bewitched, and his sudden replacement disrupted this connection. Despite Dick Sargent's capable performance, the chemistry between Samantha and Darren felt different, leading to a sense of loss among loyal fans. This attachment also played a role in the perceived decline of the show. When a key character is replaced, especially without a compelling narrative reason within the show, it can lead to a feeling of disorientation and disappointment among viewers. This was evident in the ratings, which, while still strong, showed signs of erosion as fans adjusted to the new dynamics. The departure of Dick York from Bewitched was a significant turning point for the show. His portrayal of Darren Stevens had been integral to the series' charm and success, and his exit marked the beginning of a gradual decline. The introduction of Dick Sargent brought a different energy, which, while competent, altered the beloved dynamic between the main characters. This change, coupled with repetitive storylines, evolving audience tastes, and behind-the-scenes shifts, contributed to the show's eventual downturn. Despite these challenges, the show remains a cherished part of television history, remembered for its innovative blend of fantasy and domestic comedy. The show's ability to maintain significant ratings even during its decline is a testament to its enduring appeal and the strong foundation laid by its original cast and creators. The legacy of Bewitched endures, reflecting both the magic it brought to screens and the inevitable challenges faced by the long-running series. In 1972, the show ran its course with the airing of the final episode, which became a major part of the show, since it brought to the open all the secrets that have been the major bone of contention throughout the other episodes. Bewitched, a show that became beloved for its whimsical take on suburban life intertwined with magical elements, came to an end with its 254th episode titled The Truth, Nothing But the Truth, So Help Me Sam. This final episode, airing on March 25, 1972, brought a surprising conclusion to the series, revealing the closely guarded secret that had been at the heart of the show's drama, which is Samantha Stevens' true nature as a witch. We watched as the whole secret blew up, and how the other characters had to come to terms with the reality. In the episode The Truth, Nothing But the Truth, So Help Me Sam, the story revolves around yet another magical mishap that escalates into a significant revelation. The plot begins with Endora, Samantha's mischievous and meddling mother, casting a spell on a pin. This pin, when worn, compels the wearer to tell the absolute truth. Endora, intending to cause her usual mischief, gifts the pin to Samantha. Samantha, unaware of the pin's magical properties, puts it on and continues her day. The truth-telling spell quickly leads to humorous situations where Samantha inadvertently reveals hidden thoughts and feelings, much to the confusion and amusement of those around her. Darren, played by Dick Sargent, notices Samantha's odd behavior and becomes concerned, suspecting that Endora is once again behind the unusual occurrences. The episode takes a dramatic turn when Samantha, still under the influence of the truth-telling pin, is visited by a nosy neighbor, Gladys Kravitz. Throughout the series, Gladys has been suspicious of the strange happenings in the Stevens household, but her accusations have always been dismissed or explained away. This time, however, Samantha's compelled honesty leads to a series of inadvertent confessions. In a moment of unfiltered truth, Samantha admits to Gladys that she is indeed a witch. The revelation leaves Gladys in shock, but before she can react, Samantha realizes what she has said and tries to backtrack. The pin, however, continues to compel her to speak the truth, and she further elaborates on her magical abilities and the various spells she has cast over the years. Darren arrives home to find the situation spiraling out of control. He learns about the pin's spell and understands that the secret they have kept for so long is now at risk of being exposed to the entire neighborhood. Darren and Samantha work together to calm Gladys and convince her that she must keep this incredible secret. Endora, observing the chaos from afar, decides to intervene. She lifts the spell from the pin, allowing Samantha to regain control over what she says. However, the damage is done, and Gladys is left with the undeniable truth about Samantha's true nature. In a surprising twist, Gladys, who has always sought proof of the unusual activities next door, promises to keep the secret. She realizes that revealing it would not only disrupt her neighbors' lives, but also likely be dismissed as the ramblings of a nosy and eccentric neighbor. The final episode of Bewitched ends on a note of cautious optimism. The immediate crisis is averted, and the secret of Samantha's witchcraft remains protected, albeit precariously. The series concludes without a definitive resolution, leaving the future of the Stevens family and their magical secret open to the imagination of the viewers. While the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me. Sam may not have provided a grand finale, it encapsulated the essence of Bewitched, which is the constant balancing act between the magical and the mundane. The revelation to Gladys Kravitz symbolized the persistent threat of exposure that had been a central tension throughout the series. This final episode reinforced the show's core theme, being the challenge of living a normal life amidst extraordinary circumstances. The legacy of Bewitched endures, with the final episode serving as a reminder of the show's unique charm and the beloved characters that captured the hearts of audiences. The series remains a cultural touchstone, remembered not just for its humor and fantasy, but also for its subtle exploration of identity, secrecy, and acceptance. However, Bewitched, with its enchanting blend of magic and humor, left an indelible mark on television history. Its success inspired several spin-offs and adaptations, though none managed to capture the original show's charm. Meanwhile, the advent of streaming services has ensured that new generations can continue to enjoy the timeless appeal of the original series. Some of the spin-offs include Tabitha, which ran from 1977 to 1978. The show centered on Samantha and Darren's daughter, now grown up and working in television. Lisa Hartman starred as the adult Tabitha, who, like her mother, grappled with the complications of balancing her magical abilities with a normal life. Despite its potential, Tabitha struggled with several issues. The show lacked the engaging chemistry and humor that defined Bewitched, and the storyline felt forced rather than organic. Additionally, the reimagining of the characters and setting did not resonate with fans of the original series, leading to its cancellation after just one season. Another attempt was The Tabitha and Adam Show, an animated spin-off that featured the young lives of Samantha and Darren's children, Tabitha and Adam. The show aimed to cater to a younger audience but failed to attract significant viewership. The animation lacked the wit and sophistication of the original Bewitched, and without the original characters' live-action charm, it quickly faded into obscurity. Also, the 2005 film adaptation of Bewitched, starring Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell, also attempted to revive the franchise. Rather than a straightforward adaptation, the film presented a meta-narrative where actors were cast in a remake of the original TV show, only to discover that the actress playing Samantha was an actual witch. Despite its star power and creative approach, the film received mixed reviews. Critics and audiences alike felt that it failed to capture the heart and humor of the original series, instead coming off as a convoluted homage. Despite the shortcomings of these spin-offs and adaptations, Bewitched has found new life in the digital age through streaming services. Platforms like Amazon Prime, Hulu, and others have made the entire series available to new generations of viewers. This accessibility has allowed Bewitched to reach audiences who may not have been born during its original run, introducing them to the timeless humor and magical charm of Samantha Stevens and her family. While spin-offs like Tabitha and adaptations like the 2005 film have struggled to recapture the magic of Bewitched, the original series continues to enchant audiences through streaming services. The accessibility of the show on digital platforms ensures that both new and nostalgic viewers can enjoy the timeless humor and charm of Samantha Stevens and her magical mishaps, keeping the legacy of Bewitched alive and well. We would love to hear what you think about the show in the comments, and we will see you in the next one.